Welcome back to another episode of Hefe's World. I'm your boy Hefe, and tonight we're gonna go ahead and get right into the Raw review. Raw started off with a little video package from last week's Netflix debut. So if anybody missed that, it is of course still on Netflix. You can go catch that. But we are now into episode 2 on Netflix, and CM Punk, none other than the guy himself, driving into the arena. Punk heads to the ring, and we get a promo from him. He cuts a promo about the LA wildfires real quick, and then of course he turns the attention to the Royal Rumble, which is fastly approaching. CM Punk, of course, lets us know he is officially declaring himself for the Royal Rumble, and Seth Rollins, of course, music hits, and he claims that last week's loss to CM Punk was the worst loss of his career, and they go on with a little promo, and of course, Seth lets him know that he will be in the Royal Rumble himself, and he will dump CM Punk out of the ring and go on to get the championship. And then Drew McIntyre's music hits, and Drew's cutting a promo, and CM Punk at first thinks he's talking about him, so he fires back real quick at Drew, but Drew quickly acknowledges that he's actually talking to Seth Rollins, and a lot of words get exchanged between the three, which eventually tries to lead to a what we think is going to be a triple threat match. But then Drew ends up backing up and makes his way back up the ramp and claims he is, of course, entering himself into the Royal Rumble as well. Um, and then we see after that we get a pan to the backstage where we see Damian Priest walking, and then we see Finn and JD walking into the arena. We also get Lyra and a Dakota Kai package as well walking into the arena for the night. And then American Maid's music hits, and we get none other than Chad Gable making his way to the ring to face none other than WWE's worst kept secret, Penta. Penta officially makes his debut against Chad Gable in the WWE. It's an amazing back and forth match. For anybody who hasn't seen Penta in the ring, um, I need you immediately to go to Netflix and, if anything, just watch this match. Penta is one of the most amazing luchadors I've ever seen. I got to see him live once in my life, and I plan to definitely see him again live. I cannot wait for Ray Phoenix to make his way to WWE. When those two are together and it's a tag team, dream matches, the Usos, the New Day, Street Profits. I mean, there's so many tag teams I would love to see them go up against. I cannot wait for that full force. But back to Raw, Penta, like I said, he picks up the win with the Penta driver. After the match, he cuts an amazing promo. Unfortunately, half of it I didn't understand. I'm sure half the world probably didn't understand, but he thanked San Jose. He said this is his new home. Like I said, he cut one of the most amazing promos. So shout out to Penta, and I wish you nothing but success in the WWE. And then we get a backstage cut to Finn and Carlito with JD backstage. Liv and Raquel pop up, and then we get Liv trying to tell Dom. Oh, I'm sorry, Dom eventually comes into the picture and tries to give Liv some flowers and make up for last week. Liv tells him that she's not mad, and she gives him a little grocery list of a bunch of things for him to do. And after that, we get to see Finn and JD and Carlito talk a little bit, and Finn tells him how he's going to take care of Damian later tonight in the street fight, and then him and JD are going to go reclaim the tag team titles, and Carlito and JD eventually go walk off to go talk to Adam Pearce to get that match for next week against the War Raiders. Then after the commercial, we get Sheamus coming out to the ring to face Ludwig Kaiser next. The winner of this match is supposedly going to be the number one contender to Braun Breaker's title. Braun Breaker is, of course, sitting ringside. Sheamus wins this match with a bro kick. After the match, Sheamus gets into Braun Breaker's face, and they go at it to a little bit. Braun shoves Sheamus, and there's this guy that just breaks him apart. Of course, it's just one guy. That's all they needed was one guy here, but you know it is what it is. Then we get backstage. Seth is walking in the backstage area. To a and Then we get outcomes. We find out that we're gonna have Seth versus Drew next week on Monday Night Raw, and after that we get to see Seth and Sami Zayn cut a little promo, and Seth basically tells him, is he going to keep being Roman's lackey and is he going to keep helping Roman to get his success, or is he going to eventually find his own? Then we get cut to Gunther walking in the backstage area, looking like he's coming towards the ring. And then we get cut to a commercial break, leading back into Monday Night Raw. We have The Miz shown outside of Adam Pearce's locker room, which Karrion Kross eventually comes out of. And then we have Sami Zayn pop up, and Sami Zayn and The Miz go at it back and forth into each other's face. And Sami basically lets Miz know he's going to go into Adam Pearce's locker room and get a match with him later on tonight. So after that, we get to see Gunther make his way to the ring. Gunther pretty much cuts a promo. Jey Uso comes out and he pretty much challenged Gunther for the woman world title at Saturday Night's main event. Gunther tells him he needs to think about this really well because he's already beat him twice when he was the Intercontinental Championship, and that he's the real main event. And for Jey, that's just a nickname. So they had a lot of way with words here, and Jay basically lets him know that he'll be ready. And Saturday night in the main event, we have a match: Gunther versus Jey Uso. So be prepared for that. That should be a great match. I'm sure Gunther will still unfortunately win. I would love to see Jay pick up the win here, but we all know how this is going to go. Then we get a video package of Lyra and Dakota Kai leading their way up to the IC title match. Um, and then both are shown making their way from the backstage area to the front, and we have the women's title match. And of course, like I've been telling you guys for the last couple weeks, Lyra was going to pick up this win, which of course she sure did. And we have our first WWE Women's Intercontinental Champion, Lyra Valkyria. And then Finn is shown backstage getting ready for his match with Damian Priest once again. And then we get a little Sami Zayn versus The Miz action. Sami Zayn, of course, picks up the win with the Blue Thunder Bomb. And then Rhea is shown backstage making her way out to the ring. She comes out to cut a promo, and then out come Nia Jax. Nia cuts a promo on Rhea and Bayley and basically tries to attack them both, which leads to Bayley eventually getting the upper hand and Rhea also getting the upper hand on Nia and taking her out of the ring, which leads to Nia making her way back up to the entrance. And then we get a video package of Finn versus Damian for the street fight. After the video package, Damian walks out with a kendo stick ready to go. We see Damian right before the commercial break comes. We see Damian grabbing a bunch of things from under the ring and throwing them inside the ring. The commercial break is over and we get back to the action. Damian is waiting for Finn in the ring. Finn's music hits, and of course, Finn attacks Damian from behind with his own kendo stick, and the match is underway. We get great back and forth action. At one point in the match, they are outside into the crowd area, and Damian hits Finn with a move through the table. We get cut to a commercial break, and then when we get back from the commercial break, Finn is actually on a stretcher, and they are making his way out. We see Carlito and JD also out with him as well. Damian is back into the ring. At this point, Damian eventually decides to go and get Finn from the stretcher. So he goes and attacks JD and Carlito, and then he makes his way to Finn. He wheels Finn down to the aisle ramp and hits the stretcher with the ring and rolls Finn back into the ring. Damian, I'm sorry. Yeah, Damian eventually will lose the upper hand here when Carlito and JD get back into the ring, but eventually the War Raiders come out and take out Carlito and JD and get them up to the back. I'm sorry, get them out to the back to the backstage area, and then eventually Damian and Finn, they keep going back and forth. We get a couple more back outside of the ring action with some tables. Damian will eventually hit the South of Heaven, and Damian Priest eventually gets the win here. So we have a great Raw. We have a great Monday Night Raw. The second episode of Netflix. Another great one in the books. Next week it says we'll get some New Day back in action. JBL is supposed to be in the house, so shout out to JBL. Maybe we'll get a little John Cena and JBL promo here or something. That'd be great. A little nostalgia act, and of course we have Drew versus Seth as well, which will be a great match, and I'm sure CM Punk will be in the house as well to watch that match. It'll be I wouldn't be surprised if CM Punk is actually like sitting ringside for that match with some popcorn in hand. We all know how he can be. But I will definitely be back with some SmackDown preview for later on in this week, and then we'll get into some Raw action later as well. And make sure I'm dropping some football content as well. So make sure y'all check that out. In the meantime, in between time, make sure y'all subscribe to my page down below, and I'll catch y'all later. Just remember, this is Hefe's World, and y'all just living in it.